For me, this was the idea of approaching a classic piece of storytelling, a murder mystery, crime fiction piece, and breaking it down into those components, putting as much of it in the audience's imagination. The scariest part of developing Her Story was the moment where I kind of made the decision to abandon all control of the narrative and allow people to find it in any order and kind of lead themselves through the narrative in their own way. We have this audience that's so literate in storytelling, that has seen so many different stories, that trying to find a way to freshen something up again. For me, this was the idea of approaching a classic piece of storytelling, a murder mystery, crime fiction piece, and breaking it down into those components, putting as much of it in the audience's imagination. I then felt, as a storyteller, if I can create a piece of storytelling that has enough layers, if I can focus on the characters having all these different competing motivations, it felt like an exciting, brave thing to do, but it was all in service of finding a way to freshen up this material and give it to the audience in a way that would make it compelling for them. We are such creatures of story. We have so much going on in our brains that just absorbs from performance, from setting, just, when given the barest ingredients, just the tip of the iceberg, we can kind of rebuild the whole thing. But then you have an audience that, having seen enough of those stories, starts to need something more and more sophistication. And the thing that most excited me, having kind of looked into this genre and seen these different forms, was when people play Her Story and find their own way through the information, through the plot, they will naturally create a different form. So some people will play it in such a way that they start with a mystery. Then you'll have some people that kind of very early on, straight away, understand exactly what happened, who did it, where they did it, when they did it. Now they're left with the question, well, why? And then they go deep into this kind of character study. And so that, again, kind of emboldened me to hand over the reins to the audience, because I felt like this genre and this story was robust enough that whatever angle you came at it, you would still have something that was satisfying.
One of the biggest challenges in any kind of thriller or mystery is you have to have the reveal at the end. And it has to be surprising and weird, because otherwise, But at the same time, you don't want people to see it coming. And one of the real challenges is delivering a twist that doesn't look dumb. The exciting thing with Her Story was having some reveals that were reasonably outlandish and gothic in nature. But because people were putting the pieces together and going, oh, is it this? Then investigating, kind of proving their hypothesis, and then going, oh my God, it is this thing. Like, they completely bought into this story and these twists and these reveals because they felt like they had created themselves or anticipated them themselves.